names right now. Oh, it is 601.
Oh, my stomach's grumbling.
Hi there. Tonight we'll be sipping Old Bones Single Barrel Rye, a 19-year-old whiskey distilled just outside of Montreal and bottled by the Backbone Bourbon Company in Indianapolis. What's interesting about this company, which was founded in 2014, was how its flagship bourbon, Backbone Uncut, was born from frustration after a bourbon supplier dropped the company in favor of bigger and better representation. That spurred Backbone owners to develop their own bourbon. Their first barrel sample came in at a bold 114.9 proof. The owners kept tasting and loving the sample, but assumed at the time that bourbon had to be around 90 proof. That led to many conversations about how much to cut it. To settle the debate, the owners brought in an expert bourbon taster. The Backbone website recounts the moments after giving the expert a glass. Our expert turned his back, looked to the stars, looked at the color, took one breath, and drained the precious remains of our barrel sample. He turned around and simply said, "Don't cut it." They didn't, and the company has since become known for its bold, well-aged spirits. This bottle of Old Bones, in particular, is just over 133 proof. Well, you know, like it says on the back of the bottle, great whiskey is meant to be shared. So, as we're here now, we've got good whiskey, good people, and we're going to have a few good stories about new products from the folks at VARGUS USA. It's time to toast. Cheers.
Cheers.
To craftsmanship, both in the shop and in the bottle. Now that's a toast.
That's a toast.
All right, that's our intro. Welcome to Bourbon with the Editor, season 2. I like that. I'm here with Joe Magee and Will Nash from VARGUS USA, and they've joined us for much of last season. We were here all together many of the times. Joe,
Yes.
I think you were here every time, right?
I was here every time, yes.
Yeah, and I got the Joe Vargas thing in there at least once, and the streak continues. So tonight we're covering a bunch of new products that you rolled out, and you want to cover some of them here tonight. So how do you want to dive into this tonight?
We're going to cover a few of our new items, our TMSD, helical offset, our smooth cut system for the VG cut, expansion of our Swiss holders for microscope, and the expansion of the whirling product. So William's going to talk about it a little bit and tell us what the new products are all about, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's important not only to talk about our product, but the company and the service behind it, right? So we are an extremely technical group of application engineers that work for VARGUS, and our job is not only to make sure that you have the right tool for the application, but are using the tool properly, that your machine is set properly, that you have the right program, the right speeds and feeds. Everything is in perfect working order so that you can get the best possible performance out of the tool. It's actually VARGUS's vision or mission statement. They say, to be a metalworking industry leading provider of innovative threading and complementary solutions driven by customer needs. We are committed to delivering best-in-class service. Notice Yes, we are a medical industry leader and provider of these things, but dedicated to delivering best-in-class service, right? So when you buy a VARGUS cutting tool, you're really getting everything that VARGUS has to offer. You're getting the service that goes behind it, and we can connect you with the local application engineer in your area.
The expertise that you're kind of referring to, expertise in if somebody's got a particular challenge,
Yeah, absolutely.
which
I
we're
mean,
going
we
to
were,
hear about some of this later, but
yeah,
you can kind of come in and give it an analysis. And
absolutely. Yep. I mean, we were just talking about this before we started, right? Labor shortage, lack of skilled labor, things like that going on in the industry right now, and we're here to help. We want your application to be successful. We want you guys to be successful.
And you know, we have the GEnius, the VARGUS GEnius. It's an app that you can pick out tooling, pick out speeds and feeds, passes, your tooling pitch, help with your programming. It's something that we talk about all the time, and it's we'll go more into that later. But
sure,
the VARGUS GEnius is always there to help you along, and our application engineers will be there too.
Absolutely.
So we were going to talk about the first product. It's one of our new products coming out right now. Is a TMSD helical offset, available in partial and non-partial profile, and it allows for reduces cutting forces, allows for fasting feed rates. So it's something brand new and very exciting for us. Will?
Yeah, I'm very excited about this product. This was released in the U.S. market at IMTS, or at least shown to the U.S. market at IMTS. We have a brand new pocket design, extremely stable. Combine that with the helical design, and it's a true helical design. It's not an axial design. With the helical design or placement of the inserts, the cutting forces are extremely low. We can work in applications that we weren't previously able to work in. We can achieve cycle times that we weren't previously able to achieve. This is going to do for the indexable market, I believe, what MACH did for the solid treadmill market.
Sure. And we talked about the helical design. So there's a couple slides we want to show here, and then we have a video. So let's go with the video first, guys, and we'll take a look at it, and then we'll go with the helical design.
I think we have it there right now.
There we go.
Yeah.
So this shows you exactly how the process works using a TMSD helical offset cutter.
Yeah, we've got both steel and carbide shanks here, and I think that's important to understand. So when you have difficult to machine materials or long reach applications, the carbide shanks are perfect for that.
Especially when you're threading a deep hole, more than 2.5 times or two and a half or more times depth or the diameter. This will be a lot faster because it's cutting in two different sections. You cut a bottom half of the thread, then the top half of the thread at the same time. So it's a really good, new and innovative idea. And so far, it's been a really high production, high profitability tool to use out there.
Yeah, here
It shows a pretty good design or information on the video.
That's just showing the coolant.
Right.
Yeah, and that helical design, again, to lower the cutting pressure. So it's basically like you're using a single point thread mill as far as cutting pressure goes. But you've got a staggered tooth here. So you've got, it working in two different places simultaneously. Again, cutting down that cycle time drastically. We also, I think it just mentioned here about the grades, the VB10, which is a brand new grade for our thread mills, for indexable thread mills. People ask about that a lot. The VB10 is what we're calling a general purpose grade, right? So it's working in a wide variety of applications, all the way from cast material all the way up to high temperature alloys.
Oh, why do you use the helical pocket design?
Well, the helical pocket design, it allows, I think we got another slide here that shows the difference
Yeah.
between a helical and a generally straight thread mill. But basically what happens with the helical design is that the whole tool is not engaging at the same time. With a straight flute, as it rotates, the entire tooth or the entire tool is forced to engage with the material at one shot. And if you've got a not a very rigid machine, maybe you've got an older machine, or maybe you've got something with a smaller taper, it doesn't like that vibration very much. So with the helical design, especially in applications like Acme thread or coarse pitch UN, when you have a lot of material to remove, it really allows more of a slicing action than a chopping action. It's much easier on the machine, much easier on the tooling, much easier on the workpiece. Get better quality threads. You get to go faster because there's less tool pressure. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why we like this helical design.
Going to that design with our new grades, with the new substrate and the new coating, really makes us reduce your cycle time in your operation by 30 to 50%. So it's a big, big advantage for deeper holes when you need this type of tool. I think the smallest we go down to is a 13 millimeter diameter on this tool. So some people asked us what size we go down to. So we go down to a 13 millimeter, and then use a partial profile insert. You can get any pitch you want.
Yeah, and I think it's important to clarify that that's a 13 millimeter clearance diameter. It's a 10 millimeter shank diameter tool. It'll fit into a 13 millimeter hole.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So the next product we want to talk about is our VG Cut smooth cut system. A smooth cut system bolts onto the industry leading anti-vibe bars, anti-vibration bars. So when you're removing metal real deep, the tool's hanging out more than 4 times, you need to go to an anti-vibe bar. So this sports our full line of our VG Cut inserts and groove turn, cut off, anything like that. This will support that. Also, it comes in, you can make specials. Like I said, it fits about any industry standard D-vibe bar out there. Just bolts onto an indexable head.
Yeah, I'm very excited personally about this product. A lot of deep grooving, not necessarily deep grooving, but we can do that with this too. But I mean, long reach grooving, or grooves that are deep inside of parts, or even groove turn inside of parts with some of our inserts. This is going to allow us to give next level results to our customers, being able to hold our inserts on an anti-vibe bar, especially in difficult to machine materials. Right? Yeah.
And there's more and more of that at all time. The high temp materials, more medical, more aerospace, defense. All these industries out there are using more and more of the high temp alloys. So we need to make sure we keep up to the times and make the best tools to work in this type of material.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And we've got actually a case study here to talk about. So this particular case study, we used our 2 millimeter wide groover, and you can see that this particular insert, it was running feed of 30 microns per rev, and it needed 2 passes. There's some of the technical information there, but the next slide really shows the meat and potatoes of this. This is a cost savings. So as a service to our customers, help them justify switching tooling, we often do this. And in this case, the customer was able to achieve just over $10,000 and almost 21 hours in savings for this application. In this case, this savings came primarily from time savings on tool changes, right? Because our tool had 2 edges where the competitor had 1.
And we also got the equal amount of parts per edge.
Yes.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Our cycle time was the same.
Yeah.
And also our setup time was the same.
Yeah.
But in reducing setups and tool change, we created a lot more throughput and give us more cost savings.
Absolutely. Yep.
So what in a case like that, what kind of reaction do you get more from the cost, the money savings, or is it
The
is it that-
production.
Well,
People
that-
want
yeah, I mean,
parts
that-
out the door.
That depends who you talk to, right?
Sure.
You talk to the accountant or you talk to the owner, they're excited about the money. You talk to the process engineers, you talk to the planner, they're excited about the time, right?
Okay.
You talk to the production manager, he's excited about the time. So they work together, right? If we're able to save time, a customer is able to take more jobs on that machine in the time that they previously had, right? Or than they previously were able, right? I mean, if in this case we saved them 20 hours, that might be a full production run on a smaller lot or on a different job, right? So that's something else that they were able to do that they weren't previously able to without entertaining the thought of buying a new machine.
And then this is on a 1,000-piece lot. Let's say if you did that once a month, that 1,000-piece, you could be saving 20 hours a month. So it's a huge throughput savings. And that's where it really means a lot. Cost savings of the insert, the dollar difference in between competitor and our insert, is 3 to 4% of the cost of running the part, as the pie chart shows here. So what it is, you want to get more parts out the door at the end of the day, and then it makes a big savings.
And the emphasis throughout the industry has been, as things have evolved and we get more, advancements, technological advancements, this is providing one of those increases in efficiency that the entire industry is searching for at this point.
Yeah, more and more people are going to unmanned production. More and more people are going to fully automated work cells. They need tools that can keep up with that. Yeah, and we have some other cost savings later that can show a huge increase in tool life in certain applications, and we'll get into those too. Yep.
Especially when we're talking, like we said, in the high temp alloys. We have a chemical engineer that works for us, and she's always developing more grades, different coatings. We go with a multi-purpose theory. We don't want 40 different grades. We want 2 or 3 good grades that works in all materials in different applications. So she's always coming out and telling us about the new grades she's making. We got a brand new high temperature grade that's coming out soon. So that's very interesting.
And,
but,
and that was for the aerospace
and medical.
Okay.
It's very, very interesting trying to keep up with the materials that are being created and how to machine them efficiently. You can always machine something. Sometimes it takes forever to do it. We have to make it as quick as possible for the unmanned cell and things like that. So,
and I think it's interesting also here, I forgot to mention, this application was an Inconel 625, which is a heat-resistant material, right? So we already have plenty of grades that work well in these materials, right? But we are constantly innovating, right? So we're constantly coming up with new product, new grades to meet the demands of the market as they're changing, trying to stay ahead of them if possible, right?
it's true.
So you have another new tool here.
We got another new tool. Our microscope, that is our miniature boring, threading, grooving line. It has a brand new expansion on holders for Swiss machines. These holders are made for the Star, the Citizen. Is it Nahawa? Am I pronouncing that right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I was close to that. Hey,
One more time. For,
no. I give it one shot. That's the best I go. But it reduces the need to look for different vendors for different applications on your Swiss machine. You need to be able to go there and tool up the whole product. So we came up with a more expanded line of different holders, especially for the microscope, which goes down to 39 thousandths, I think, 1 millimeter. You can do a bore of 1 millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I'm very excited about this product. So this particular release is for holder for working on the subspindle, and on a Swiss machine, about half the job is done on front and half the job is done on back, right? So this opens the door for us to be able to offer a wider range of solution and really be able to, like Joe said, tool up the entire machine. These machines that are listed here, they are obviously what the holders were designed for, right? But this is these holders anyway are based on a diameter and a bolt hole pattern. So if the bolt hole pattern and the diameter are compatible, you can use them on different machines. And we have an extensive line of microscope tools that fit into them. So here in the Chicago area, we have a ton of Swiss turning. We have a ton of
I think I heard one time there was over 5,000 Swiss machines in Chicago area.
I wonder if there's over 5,000 Swiss shops. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
There's a lot of them
huge,
here.
yeah.
And the best thing about this, we're talking about for boring, for grooving, for threading, or for broaching. These holders really help complement your Swiss machine. And that's what this came out with.
Yeah.
So, and then I think we got
and
another
that's-
slide here.
That's available right now.
This is all available right now. Everything we're talking about is available right now. Most of our things will come out at the first of the year, and then at the start of the third quarter, we have different products coming out, like our new high temp alloy, which was supposed to be out in the fourth quarter. That will high temp alloy machining, the carbide to machine that should be out in the fourth quarter. So, but we was talking about the microscope. Make sure everybody understands
Can you make specials?
we make specials. We make a special length, diameter, anything like that in the microscope. Yeah, it's all manufactured right in our shops, so we can make anything you need.
Mm-hmm.
What about the smallest thread it can machine?
Joe said previously the smallest hole we can work inside of is 1 millimeter. So for that range, we have partial profile tools. So I think the smallest we can do is about 1 by 0.25.
Which is very small. That's we're getting down there into 40 thousandths diameter, so it's very small.
Is that supported by the Genius?
What the threading, our VARGUS GEnius supports all threading applications, and it's expanding it all the time. So yes, in the microscope, the threading is supported by the Genius. It'll write the programs, tell you the passes, everything like that. But comes to some of the grooving and broaching, it's not ready yet. So I never say no to anybody. So, but it will be there. But for threading, which we're basically a threading company,
right.
Yes, it's all supported by the Genius.
Okay.
Yeah,
excellent.
Absolutely. And I think, so we've got now a slide up that's showing some of the different applications we can work in. Boring with a chip breaker. I think it's important to mention here that we have front and back boring in the microscope. There's boring and profiling there, square and round grooving, and then threading, of course. Several different types of holders, including double-ended holders. And I think the most important thing to look at here is the way that this insert is held in the tool holder, the way that it's located on a chamfer. So the tool changes are foolproof. You pull a tool out, you put another tool in, it locates on a taper exactly the same as the one that came out. No offsets necessary between tool changes.
Also, we're bringing up different designs here. We have chip breakers and chip formers. And small diameters, really hard to break that chip inside a hole. So sometimes you just need to control the chip. So our chip formers control the chip where we want it to go instead of just balling up in there and causing all kinds of trouble. Because if you run a 2 millimeter boring bar, very easy to break that thing. You need to get the chips controlled or out of there. So that's why some things are called chip breakers, some are chip formers. That's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Did you mention is it capable of face grooving?
Yeah, so we have some face grooving here. We have also plenty of other lines of tools for face grooving, including the VG cut. So we have plenty of, if somebody has a face grooving application, we'd be happy to look at it and we'll get them the best tool for the job.
Right. So I think we was going to talk about our next product that we wanted to introduce. Well, actually, we introduced the Whirling about IMTS in September, but we got new and expanding line all the time. We got 4 new profiles, expansion of existing profiles, and if you understand what a whirling does, it can replace multiple turning operations with one tool. That's what it does. Also, you can turn extremely long diameter to length ratios.
Mm-hmm. So I have several customers that were previously doing long threads on a Swiss machine by doing maybe an inch or 2 of the thread and then feeding more and repositioning and then doing another inch or 2 of the thread and then feeding more and repositioning and trying to blend those passes every time. Gets very difficult, gets very tricky. So with this, there's no pre-turning operation. It's going to cut the diameter to size. It's going to cut the thread, full profile or partial profile. It's going to cut your minor, your pitch, your major diameter, all in one shot from full stock. And during IMTS, we had a great demo of whirling on a fairly long bone screw. We cut from, I think, 0.4375 down to 1/4 inch in one pass. I think we had a length of like 3 inches, and we did it in about 6 seconds, right? So whirling is a very capable process, and because you've got 6 teeth, 6 cutting edges, replacing maybe 1, if you were talking about thread turning before, your tool life and your tool pressure goes way down. So it's, again, easier on your machine.
The VARGUS whirling is capable of fitting on just about any Swiss machine. It's because of the driven unit. We build our whirling rings for the driven unit that you buy for your machine. So it's interchangeable with about any machine and just about any driven unit. So that's how that works. So if you're interested, it's a great, interesting process.
We got a video playing of it right now.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Yeah, so here they're showing the bone screw application too. Okay.
So this is that bone screw that we had. We had a bone screw in here for an episode last year.
Or something very similar to it, if not exactly. Yeah, I mean, here they're showing the 6 cutting edges, right? Our inserts, our pucks take 6 tools. Our inserts have 3 edges. We're generally going to want to cut, depending how the unit is located, either at 12, 3, 6, or 9 o'clock, so that you can take into account the angle of the thread, and you'll set your driven unit to that angle. Your whirling head will go inside that driven unit. Here they're talking about our wider insert blanks, so we can do 2 start threads with this also. It's a very capable system, and we've got a huge range of thread profiles available as standards, and of course specials for new applications.
Mm-hmm. So I think the next product we're going to talk about.
Can it do anything other than bone screws?
Absolutely, yeah. So I mean, bone screws are common, but when you talk about length to diameter ratios, lead screws, ball screws would be a great fit for that. We also have cylindrical whirling blanks. So if you need to turn something that's a very long part, you can do it, again, with very low tool pressure. You can do it in one pass, so you're not having to worry about controlling whip on a long part or not being supported by your guide bushing.
Like Will talked about that product that or the opportunity we had. We turned it. We went from 375 down to 1/4 inch. Well, if you were 6 inches long, it would be almost impossible to hold that and turn the whole length. In a regular lathe application, you'd have to have a steady rest and a follow-up. So there's a lot of different things that whirling can really help your applications. So it's a great tool. It's been around for a few years, but it's really gaining a lot of access and approval from all the machine shops. About every machine shop you go to now, if they do smaller stuff, they have a Swiss machine in there capable of doing a whirling.
Mm-hmm.
So, not to move things along, but we haven't talked about the MACH yet.
Oh, we haven't talked. We love to talk about the MACH. So, what we did at the German Innovation Award competition, there were 600 applications. We won the 2024 winner of that award.
That was last May.
That was last May. It was in Berlin, Germany, and it's very hard to even get nominated, let alone win this. It's the independent jury did this too, not just somebody that is related to our businesses. It's all over different kinds of manufacturing. So it's completely thinking about economic success in an operation. So we're really amazing award to win. I mean, I don't know how many people actually won this award in the past and who they were, but it's a very prestigious award to win. And then they also said that it was for the MACH theory on TT and TM, or thread turning and thread milling. So increases productivity by 30 to 50%. So it's something we love to talk about. It's one of our newest product line innovation. And now our competitors and our peers are saying, yeah, it was really something special that we developed, and it's going getting bigger and bigger, better and better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead.
The MACH product is, I can say revolutionary, right? I've gone into plenty of businesses, and we've, just by changing one threading insert, freed up hundreds of hours, literally hundreds of hours of machine time.
And what are the benefits that are doing that? I mean,
so the MACH thread turning, right? It relies on, there's a few things that make it successful, but it relies on our ability to reduce the number of cutting passes, right? Because we're talking about thread turning, right? So you can't always go faster, and you can't, there's a lot of things you can't do, but one thing you can do is you can take passes away. And so how do you make a tool that can take passes away and hold up, right? So we've got a proprietary and patented pocket that really supports the tool while it sits on a dovetail. So it's captured not only by the clamping screw or not only by a clamping finger, but it's really captured by the pocket itself. Reduces vibration, increases rigidity. Also, this particular insert spent, I think, almost 2 years in R&D. We've got a brand new grade of carbide. So the substrate is engineered specifically for turning in this way. We've got a brand new coating. We've got brand new edge prep on this tool. I mean, everything about it is brand new. And those are the types of things that have allowed us to, again, make another revolution in the threading industry.
So we actually got a test report here we can kind of go over and talk about the TT MACH.
I love this test report. So, here we can see, right, we had the ability to run significantly faster than our competitor, right? We increased the surface footage to 200 from 110. We also cut the passes a little bit more in half. We went from 11 plus 2 down to 6. But look at the tool life, right? 5,000 parts per edge, not per insert, per edge. So 15,000 parts per insert versus 399 parts per edge, right? Cycle time, of course, from 40 seconds down to 12. And again, it's the pocket and the geometry of the insert that allowed us to do this. But the thing that I found very interesting in this particular application, because this was in a high-temp alloy, a very soft high-temp alloy, they were having a lot of problems with burrs on the threads. And so even though they were manufacturing, all of these parts, they were forced to do second ops and clean the parts before they went on to subsequent operations. And by using our insert, because of the geometry of it and the way that we control the chip, the way that the hone pushes the material out of the way, and the way that we cut the major diameter, we had no burrs on the thread. Their parts sailed through quality.
Quality, also safety.
Mm-hmm.
When you have no burrs, you have nobody getting hurt on the parts. Safety is a huge thing. If you have no safety reports, it's a big deal in manufacturing nowadays. So that's another thing that you look at.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about the cost savings a little bit here, because this one was phenomenal, right? Obviously, huge reduction in cycle time, huge increase in parts per edge, resulting in approximately 235 hours saved per year.
I mean, that brings up a question for me about going back to what led to this, to you going into this particular shop about this particular application. Were they just kind of tired of some aspect of what they had been doing and the tool they were using and wanted to just improve it, or what led to this?
So this particular customer actually visited our booth at IMTS and was interested to see what new technology we had and what we might be able to help them with. And of course, being our latest and greatest product at the time, we led with MACH. We brought it in there, and we've since been able to do not only this job, but we've got several jobs. In fact, I was just looking at my test reports for them. We have over 10 tests that we've done for that customer with similar cost savings, similar time savings, right? We've added in excess of 1,000 hours to their schedule just last year alone, right? And, for them, that's a huge ability to go out and take more work, to quote more work. They don't have to, again, they don't have to buy new machines. They don't have to expand their factory. They don't have to find new people to run them. They can work more with the existing setup that they have.
It's like we talked about before. Depends on who you're looking at or talking to. The upfront office, the accounting people were saying, you guys are spending too much money making these parts. We're not making enough money. We need to reduce our cost. The production engineers saying, we can't get enough parts out the door. We need more time. So all these factors can, then they talk to a VARGUS application guy and saying, can you help us with this? It's a great job we're running. We really want to keep it in here, but we got to make money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the down. Everybody's got to make money.
Yeah.
So that's what they came to us and say, can you help us?
Yeah.
So when Will went in there and took a look at it, he's seen some good opportunity, corrected things, made sure the process was right, then put our tools in. It was a big savings for him. They were real happy. I think one guy said it's the best stop at the booth he had that day at IMTS. So it was pretty good.
Does the same, do you want to talk about thread, MACH TM?
Yeah, certainly. So, what we've done in thread turning, we've also been able to do in thread milling. The German Innovation Award extends to the thread milling also, right? So we have, in most cases, more than 2 times faster, right? We have extended tool life, and again, the support to make sure that these tools are running properly in the shop, right? A lot of times people will run the GEnius, and then they'll call me and they'll say, hey, here's what the GEnius said, and we need to go faster or whatever, and so we'll go in there and we'll take a look, and we'll find that hey, the GEnius is great. It got you the right tool, it got you started, you're already beating your competition, but your boss told you have to knock 20 seconds off the cycle time. Right now you're knocking 15 off. Let's go find the other 5. Yeah,
sure. And that's what we did with the MACH thread mill. We increased the core diameter, then we reduced the length of the flutes, so it's makes it more stable. The more carbide you can keep in that bar, the more stable it is.
That's a heavy tool right there.
Yes. Also, we put the MACH design grind on it. We put it into a different edge prep, a different grade, a new substrate, also new coatings. So this is made to run at heavy feeds and fast. So this is made just for production. And so far it's been a winner. It's unbelievable cost savings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a cost savings report for an example of MACH thread milling. Also, this part is very interesting. I'm seeing quite a lot of super duplex stainless on the market right now. So I thought that this one would be interesting to share. And you can see here that from our competitor, we're able to triple the feed rate in meters per minute. And we were able also to reduce the cycle time by a little bit more than a factor of 6. So in this particular application, it was a fairly small lot, but we were still able to run 750 parts. We were able to save the customer 65 hours and a total of $10,250 in operational costs.
So if you look at the pie chart, I've got another slide here. Look at this pie chart. It shows the material as being one of the largest cost of this thing. So you got all this cost in material and overhead and labor you need to get this out quick as possible. So that's where the MACH TM came in. You get it out, run it, reduce the cycle time as much as possible. How many hours did you say?
In this job, which was only 750 parts, we're able to save the customer in excess of 65 hours.
So That's a week and a half. So that's a huge saving, especially with, everybody's trying to get the most parts out the back door they can.
Mm-hmm.
What the material was super duplex?
Super duplex. It's a stainless steel material. Stainless steel is already hard to cut. Super duplex is double hard.
It's tough.
And,
it's
and
abrasive.
And the industry that this is for?
It's being used in a lot of industries, but very commonly in oil and gas and fittings.
Anything that corrodes. So if you have a fitting that's in the ocean, in the oil, something like that, that super duplex will not corrode, won't rust out, and it doesn't react adversely to different temperatures and things like that. So it's a very useful material. It's just tough to machine, and then we keep working at it. That's what some of our new innovative tools are for that type of material. So,
are there any new turning grades?
that's what I was going to talk about.
Oh.
We want to talk about the next thing is our new VT10 grade. It's our multi-purpose, all do everything grade. They've got a new substrate. It's got a brand new coating on it, and with a new post-polish grind, or post-grind polish. Wow, that's a hard one to say. And a new and innovative surface treatment.
Sip.
Yeah. So this starting, right now we do all internal and external standard profiles. We're adding more and more. I think we're out to, if I remember right, the last time they told us was out around 65 different profiles, all different sizes. This is going to be our new standard grade. We're changing over. It's just unbelievable. And sometimes when we can't get our multi-purpose VRX to work and get the production that the customer wants, the VT10 come in and you can increase the surface feet RPMs by 20%. That might be what you need. It's a very, very good grade.
Mm-hmm.
And it's coming out. We're building inventory now. Anytime you need something in a really all-purpose grade, this is what we're going to be out there telling people to try. You want to talk about this cost savings report?
I don't think we have a cost savings report.
A performance report.
But you got the case study
case
results.
study, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, this is this is a great grade. I've already had an opportunity to test this a few times in the field. The test here wasn't done by me, but I can see that we're doing 4140 steel, making an M30 by 1.5, 40 millimeters long. Our cutting feed here of 130 meters per minute, so this is in metric, with 8 passes, right? So this is, again, a very strong insert. It's able to hold up to abuse. It's very tough, very well wearing, very shock resistant for challenging applications and challenging materials. I do know firsthand that it supports an interrupted cut. So if you have a thread on a split nut, or if you have some sort of groove or something like that in your thread, it does well in that. And here you can see that as compared to our standard, we were able to increase tool life by 30%, right? So our standard, which is already competitive on the market.
Yeah. It's one of the leading grades on the market right now.
Yeah.
So we come in and test against ourselves in the same application. That way we're not testing on a different machine or anything like that. We want to test against whatever they're running of our grades out there right now. So it's a very exciting, it's new grade, new coatings.
Never satisfied with good enough.
No, not at Vargus. We always reaching for the next thing we can do.
Good enough is not good enough, because tomorrow somebody will do it better if we don't. And that's why we're continually pushing to remain at the leading edge and supply the best quality product and best quality service to the market.
Okay.
So we hate to ever end one of our shows here, or podcast, or whatever you call it, without talking about the GEnius. So if we could pull up the GEnius, maybe we could go through.
Did you want to do that, or did you? Okay, yeah.
We got one right here. We could go through this one.
The stainless steel.
Yeah,
I think we
can
could.
talk about stainless steel. We've got a little bit of a case study here for
Right.
316L. Here you can see that we did turn an M30 by 1.5, again 40 millimeters long.
So if you was going to the GEnius, you would go in there and do an external turn, and you can bring up the GEnius. It's going to ask you what you want to do. We said external turn, threads.
And
Then
by
we-
the GEnius, just so in case anyone's not aware, that's the online app that it basically walks you through.
Right.
You put in
Yeah.
all the parameters, and it
It'll-
walks you through
So
everything
it's
you're going to need.
available for your smartphone, whether you've got an Apple or an Android. It's available for your tablet. You can download it, put it on your desktop, on your computer, and you can also run it online if you can't or don't want to download it, right? You go right to our website, you go to the menu on the right-hand side, drop down, hit GEnius, and you're right there. You're ready to go. Like Joe said, you choose your application. You choose, do I want a thread mill? Do I want a thread turn? Is it internal or external? Am I going towards the spindle or away from the spindle? A couple of basic choices. You choose your thread standard and your pitch, and then it's going to start recommending for you what it thinks is best, right? It's
Right.
going to say, now, here's a list of tools and holders that we think are best for your application. Once you say, okay, I like that one because that's a 1-inch bar and I can hold a 1-inch bar, and okay, I want a full profile, great, so I grabbed that one. And then after that, it tells you really everything that you need to know about how to set up that tool. It tells you your surface footage, it tells you how many passes, how deep they need to be, it tells you what bar to use, what insert to use, what anvil to use.
That
Tells
in-feed
you-
method.
In-feed method, everything.
I think we have a video of, was it the VT10?
I think we saw the VT10 already. I don't know if they might have a video of the GEnius going or something like that back there, but
Yeah, the VT10 grade. I'm
But
not
yeah,
sure
we-
that you can see that, but it's just something that. Now you'd access this video through the GEnius too,
Right.
wouldn't you?
You could go on
Through
the
our
GEnius
website,
or our
yep.
website. All the videos of all the Vargus tools are there. Also, you could go to our e-catalog. Now, making a paper catalog or updating a catalog is expensive. So what we do is our e-catalog is updated weekly.
Well, and not only expensive, but it's hard to keep up. I mean, we had, 600 new product releases last year?
Yes.
So how many catalogs would we have had to print, different versions of catalogs, to keep up with that? I don't know.
So if you use a Vargas product, you need to go to our e-catalog online and take a look there and look at what you're hunting for. Might be a new grade, there might be a new tool, might be a new length of diameter ratio, a new thread mill that can go 5 times diameter, all kinds of new stuff on there. So that's why the GEnius, the e-catalog, and the stock check, all this is going to be combined. It's not completely up and going yet, but we're at 80%. Pretty soon you'll be able to go on the e-catalog, go into GEnius, pick out the tool you need, go in the e-catalog, see what tools are available, check stock.
Where's the e-catalog on the website?
It's on the vargus.com website.
So you just go to vargus.com and it's
Go
one
to
of the
vargus.com.
main links okay.
Yeah,
And
so
everything will be linked together.
One of the nice things that they did recently was, with the way that they changed the website, they gave us a global website, right? So when you click on the U.S. website, it's just up in the upper left-hand corner. You click the drop-down, you choose them in the U.S. region. It automatically selects for you inches, because that's what we use here in the U.S., right? So now when you're looking for tools and you're looking for 1 1/4 inch holders, you're going to see 1 1/4 inch, right? Instead of, the metric equivalent, it's not going to show you 32 millimeter holders anymore, right? So that's really nice. And then it also makes us easier to find, right? Because before, our website was Vargus USA, whatever the link was. And again, vargus.com, go there. You got access to our e-catalog, which I personally think is great, right? I'm on that thing 10, 12 times a day at least.
And we're downloading all our tools in DFX files right there. So if you're using Mastercam or what other programs there are, you need these files, it should be all available to you. Not everything's on there because there's thousands of tools we have to download, get all these files on there, but that's being done as we talk.
Everything new is on there.
Right.
Some of the older product isn't updated with, for instance, solid models and things like that yet, but everybody who's using that already has those because they've made them, right? All of our new product, though, all of our new holders, all of our new inserts, all of that information is there, not only in solid model, but also in 2D, so there's a couple different options there if you want to do collision checking or if you want to check profiles, things like that.
For some perspective, I guess, how long has Vargus been
We've been making threading tools for 60 plus years. We started out in a little small 4-car garage and keep growing and growing and growing. We just went to the 3rd building in Naharia, I think 2 years ago. So it's just gradually getting bigger and bigger all the time. Always focusing on what is the best threading option for the customer. Our job is to keep the customer up and going, strong and happy. That's what we're here to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you've been talking about a lot of the threading tools. Where can someone go and buy a threading tool
So
from Vargus?
the best way to do that is contact our CSRs at the office. There's an 800 number. Online, you can do it. There's many ways you can reach them. They will tell you ask you where you're from. Say you were from New York or whatever. And then they would tell you these are the local distributors in your area. We also sell through some of the large master distributors out there on the market. So about any distributor that sells a lot of quality tools will probably have availability to Vargus.
So they can just maybe go to the site and contact
Right.
Vargus just to find out where they might want to go.
What we want everybody to do is if you go to vargus.com, you get all the help you can get.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then
got a contact
if that
us
doesn't
page.
work, you contact us on a contact page and we'll get an application engineer to call you or see you. If it's necessary, we'll get someone to drive there. We'll put some miles on his car here. But we will help you whatever it takes. So.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting a question. You going to be back for more Bourbon with the Editors?
Well, Dennis, if you want us to come back, yes, we'd love to do this. We was with you for the first season, and we're definitely going to be around for this season too. I think we're scheduled for quite a few months in a row. We might skip some of the vacation months. I'm not sure how that's working out with the schedule, but we're going to be back showing you our new improved line of threading tools, our new improved processes. Anything we can help you with is what we're going to be back doing.
Nice. So I think we probably covered quite a bit. If there's anything else you would like to add, this is the time to do it.
Well, I want to thank you again for inviting us back again this year. So we really appreciate Cutting Tool Engineering, everything you do for our industry, for Vargus, and for all of us. Thank you.
We're trying.
Thank
We're
you.
trying. And, this is a new way of getting information out, and we're learning all the time.
Yeah.
This bourbon makes it a little more fun, a little easier to to talk on camera, I guess.
Huh?
I hope the audience enjoys it and gets enough information out of this to make it all worth everyone's time. So
Sure.
thank you, Joe. Thank you, Will. Cheers to you guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And
Time to turn out the lights.
cheers to everyone out there. Thanks.
Yep.